the NFL. Of course,
This
there was
weekend?
Tom. Yeah, this weekend. Of course, there was Tom Brady, but I don't care. They lost. Of course, the Falcons
You sure?
won. Yeah, yeah. The Falcons won. So let's start with the early games. The early games were, to say the least, amazing. The Falcons won. I'm gonna keep saying it because we won. But there was also other games that happened. I think everybody got upset in the
Tied.
early games.
Top. NFC South.
The Falcons beat San Francisco 49ers. Everybody picked the 49ers to beat us. The Steelers beat the Buccaneers. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. The Jets. It's an upset now. It's an upset then. I don't know if it's an upset now. The Jets won 27-10 and thoroughly dominated the Packers. And the New York Football Giants beat the Ravens 24-20 to go to 5-1. Out of these four games, which one is the most one that surprises you the most?
So before we get there, I have a unique theory about this. The guys who won are used to playing this early. This is what time we're used to playing. I think that for the rest of these guys, they're used to playing in later games. And I think the later games, having to play earlier makes it more difficult. It's kind of like Lou Williams. You know, Lou Williams always said, man, I hate early games.
That's an interesting theory.
Because it's a completely different environment between playing early in the day and playing at 7:20 or even playing at the 3:25 slot. Your whole day is different.
Definitely feel that about San Francisco. They had to fly cross country.
Woo!
Green Bay. What?
You lose a couple hours and got to play early?
Yeah. Green Bay, definitely, because they're used to being the 4 o'clock because they are them. The Ravens, yeah. Only one I wouldn't say that would be the Steelers. Because the Steelers are used to playing at 4. And for this whole year, outside of the Dallas game, I believe Tampa Bay played at 1 o'clock. So, but every year, that's a really good theory. I never thought about that. That's a good theory.
Yeah, I'm just looking like, yeah, we used to playing that early. Like, we don't ever have the 7:20 game. Our players back at home, comfortable by the end.
Boy. So where we go from here, man? Let's talk about the AFC North. So, or do you want to? Yeah, let's do AFC.
No, let's just get right to Lamar throwing that crazy ass ball.
I don't have that pick, but Lamar definitely threw that interception in the fourth quarter that allowed the Giants to. I would say the Ravens definitely lost this game. The Giants played well. But the Ravens definitely lost this game.
The Giants just stuck around. They were just not going to use the example that I thought that first came to my head, but they just stuck around in the game, and eventually, the Ravens just gave it to him. Say, hey man, you're still here late in the game. I'm gonna do you a solid and hand you a football game here. You want it? And then Lamar chucked that ball down there, and I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? There's no reason for that. There's no reason.
None at all. So everybody's going to talk about, and this has been the focus of everything. Lamar in the first 3 games of the season looked like he was unbeatable. He was unbelievable. He was playing a hell of a game, having a hell of a season. And we were saying, damn, he's made a lot of money. Do you think in these last 3 games, especially that they can't hold a lead, do you think that he's lost any money?
Nope.
None. You don't think he's lost any money?
How can he lose money? Are you gonna let him go?
17-32 for 210 yards and a touchdown and an interception. QBR 58.
Not leaving.
I think it's a negotiation tactic, and I don't know if he's losing money, but he's losing a little bit of leverage to me.
No, not. I think it's pressure on everybody but Lamar. Lamar is the only person who does not have to go, and probably Harbaugh. But everybody else. Oh, and then they just fired the defensive coordinator.
They did?
He's with no. Remember, Wink Martindale. He was with them. Now he's with the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. You're right, man.
But he's causing all of this, and I've been telling you this. It's causing chaos in that team. You can see how Marcus Peters looked at the end of the game.
Well, Marcus Peters is always going to wear his emotions on his sleeve.
But you can just see that they're not on the same page. And they typically are a team that's pretty good about, even if they may not always be, together, they typically look pretty well put together. Right now, they look like they're in disarray.
They are. They are in disarray. You're starting, and I think it's weighing on Lamar more than he's going to let on, because he's starting to make the mistakes that he made 2 years ago.
He's forcing it.
Yeah, like when Lamar doesn't force and he just plays the game, he's almost unstoppable. But when he tries to do too much and tries to force and prove and whatever, I don't know what he's doing. That's when he starts to make mistakes. And the defense, for whatever reason, is not as good as we're used to Baltimore being. And you can't make those mistakes anymore. And then what else? You have Cleveland, who has the number one rusher in the league, and they went up. And I would say they went up, but they went home and got the brakes beat off of them by the 4th-string quarterback, Zap, 38-15. 38-15. Whoa. And he went 24 of 34 for 309 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Whooped by Mac Jones backup. And you have
Nick whooped Chubb. By Mac Jones backup. This the 3rd quarterback.
Facts.
And you have Nick Chubb, who was 12.
I
told you. I said, me. I said, hey, because you looked at me and you said I was crazy. I said, hey, Bill Belichick. I said, going back to Cleveland. And one thing I didn't think about was he also used to be the coach of Cleveland. Remember, he took the job and then quit. And he was supposed to be the coach of Cleveland. So there's always going to be bad blood there. And Jacoby Brissett, hey, man, you are a big backer of Jacoby. He's looking like a backup. 21 of 45, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
They also thrown the ball 45 times.
I don't know. I don't know if Kareem Hunt got hurt, but he only rushed the ball 4 times. And Amari Cooper only had 4 catches. Donovan's People-Jones is your leading receiver. You know what I'm starting to see? I think that Amari Cooper is the only receiver on that team that can get open. I don't think anybody else on that team can get open. Maybe
Which makes no sense.
Maybe Njoku. But that's it. Donovan People-Jones never had breakaway speed. I don't even know who these other people are. I can't name none of these other receivers that they got. None.
They are.
You think Deshaun might come there and save the day? No, he's not.
Yeah, he's going brick by brick. Let me tell you that much. You're not getting over there thinking that you thought you were getting what you not as good as advertised. But I remember a guy telling y'all that.
Yeah, man. So, and hey, quiet as kept, man. The Patriots are still not in the thick of things, still in the thick of the wild card race. They're still in the thick of the wild card race for the AFC.
Trash. Do not let one thing trick you into. Do not let one bad thing trick you into another. That hat is terrible too.
Look at this man right here. Look at this. You know what Tom Brady looks like with that terrible hat on? He looks like the Florida man. He looks like a Florida man cussing out his O-line.
That is definitely a Florida man hat.
Tom Brady went and lost to Mitchell Trubisky. I'm going to say that again. Tom Brady went and lost to Mitchell Trubisky, and Tom Brady's cussing everybody out like it ain't his fault. Part of it is his fault. Tom Brady threw the ball 40 times, 25 of 40 for 243 yards. That's 6.1 yards per completion. That's not going to get it done. The defense didn't play that bad. to allow only 20 points. The offense looked horrible. I also want to send T's and P. I'm gonna leave this up because I love seeing Brady upset.
You sick.
I don't care. I do want to say
I'm okay with it right now though, because we're tied for first. Hey Tom, you had your free run, dog.
And you cheated us. But I will say thoughts and prayers to Cameron Brate. He just came back from concussion, and then he had to be stretchered off after he got another concussion. And Kenny Pickett as well, who was concussed as well. All of them are hitting their head on the back of the turf, and all of them are getting concussions. Yet, I mean, I hate to do it. Tua hit his head on the back of the turf, and they said he was cleared to come back in the game. Whatever. Do you think? Well, we'll get to the NFC South. Do you go back to Pickett? You got to go back to Pickett. Trubisky doesn't start.
Yeah, Trubisky is an aberration. You took his job for a reason. You don't just give it back.
Yeah. Shout out Najee Harris. Now I will say one thing: Pittsburgh got to figure out how they gonna run the ball. You have one of the most complete backs in the league, and Najee. They have too much talent to be this bad on offense. Najee Harris is one of the most complete backs in the league. 14 carries for 42 yards. Not gonna cut it.
Claypool finally had a good game.
7 catches, 96 yards. They threw the ball for 193 yards, and he had 96 of them.
Hell y'all doing?
Is bad. I would be, now that I see these stats, I'd be
What's
Tom Brady cussing everybody
do?
out too. Pickens?
Oh, and they also said that one of the reasons that Trubisky came out is I guess him and Deontay Johnson had like some type of falling out argument in the locker room at halftime. And that was apparently the last straw. What lost him the job, which he immediately got back.
Well, yeah. I mean, all of the receivers were upset. I showed you the George Pickens clip where he was pissed off on the field when Trubisky didn't throw him the ball. And they all have a better rapport with Kenny Pickett. So the thing is, it's kind of like the Marcus Mariota, Dennis Ritter type thing.
That's another reason that you're sure that he won't get.
It's kind of like the Marcus Mariota, Dennis Ritter thing, except for he was losing, and Mariota is winning. Because if Mariota was losing, you'd see Ritter out there too. So I love seeing Brady upset.
We one game away from it. We was just there. We was 2-3 last week, big dog.
Yeah, we got cheated though. Let's move on. Let's move on to the AFC South. So the AFC South is another division that is just poo. Oh, also Tom Brady. Didn't you say before we move on to the AFC South? Didn't Tom Brady say, "Hey"? They asked him, "How do you feel about all the parity in the league?" And he said, "Oh, it's just a whole bunch of bad football to me." Seems like you lead the charge in that one, brother. You need to hold the mirror up to you.
I don't think he's ever denied that though.
He's never taken accountability for it.
I don't think that he thinks that he's the problem. I might be inclined to agree.
No. No way. I think no. I'm not. You can't absolve yourself of any of the blame and then take all the credit. You can't do that and then say it's a team sport. You're being a hypocrite on all 3 levels. You can't say it's a team sport when we doing bad and everybody else got to do something, and then when we do good, I'm the GOAT. Blah 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 blah. What I say goes. No, you can't do that, dog. We either a team or we not.
Completely disagree there.
Well, then you can you can go in there and sit with Tom Brady and cuss out your offense.
I can both say all of these guys on this team suck, and I can say that I'm so good that I still won us some games. Yes, I just said it. You see how easy that was?
You think Tom Brady won them some games?
I think that Tom Brady is the best player on that team.
I don't think Tom Brady won them a lot of games. I think their defense won them a lot of games. I think Tom Brady lost them this game. I would say Tom Brady. I think the offense lost them this game.
Okay, the
Super Bowl.
Season
the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the team. He's down there in Tampa Bay. Since he's been there, the defense has been the reason that they has been mostly the reason they've had most of their success. Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. In the Super Bowl, it was the defense.
Jameis is what proves you wrong.
No way. They in the Super Bowl, they shut down Patrick Mahomes. You could have put Jameis in there and they would have won that Super Bowl. In the NFC Championship game,
Jameis would have thrown enough interceptions to give them multiple chances.
But and Tom Brady did that in the NFC Championship game when they beat the Packers. It was the defense that held the Packers when Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in a row. The defense.
Okay, so if
season
Tom throws
and last
3,
season,
Jameis throws 5.
You see, and now you placing the blame on Jameis. Tom Brady is benefiting from a great defense.
Hold on. I just saw
what
they just showed the amount of passes between each interception, and Tom Brady is so far away from everybody else
in his career.
No,
I don't care. I said at Tampa. At Tampa, Tom Brady benefits from the defense. If Tom Brady's on any other team, he does not win a Super Bowl at all. It is the Tampa Bay defense that he benefits from in this game, in this team, last year and this year, or the year they won the Super Bowl, last year and this year. To me, in my opinion.
Nah, I mean, yeah, we're just going to disagree. We're going to have to agree to disagree.
I gave you examples of when the defense won. And it is what it is. You ain't seen Tampa Bay just get blown out. You don't see them get blown out because their defense is too good. When the offense sputters is when they lose. The defense always going to show up. And if you are the face and quarterback of the offense, you have to take blame for that. You have to. He took all the credit when they won the Super Bowl. Didn't he win MVP?
Yes, because he was and is the MVP.
He was not the MVP of that Super Bowl. The MVP of the Super Bowl was the defense. You just couldn't give it to 11 people. He was not the MVP of the Super Bowl. Period.
Yep. How can 12 people be one person? Most valuable player.
I said I literally just said that. I said you can't give it to 11 people, so you had to give it to one person. Okay, so they were not,
in fact, the MVP.
The defense was the MVP of the Super Bowl. The defense is the reason they won the Super Bowl. The defense. It is the defense. But we can move on. Let's go to the AFC South. Looks like the Texans are starting to clean house. They're getting rid of, who was that? The president. That's the president, ain't it? Jack Easterby. He's the president. You kind of, I ain't gonna say you saw this coming, but you did. Like, they're bad. You had the Deshaun Watson situation that's still going on. Somebody eventually was gonna have to be the fall guy, and it looks like it's gonna be Easterby. Because their roster, they're outperforming their roster just like the Falcons are.
So this is the thing. You can't keep firing the coach.
He's not a coach.
No, but what I'm saying, they already fired the coach. Can't go fire Lovey again already. You just fired Tully. So, yeah, if you can't fire the coach again, Easterby.
This guy had never held any positions in any type of football operations and somehow managed to get hired as the executive VP of football operations by the Texans. That in itself just
I think we know how. Open and shut case.
That in itself is horrible. And of course, your man DeAndre Hopkins laughed.
Rightfully so.
Wasn't he the guy that he was the first one? I wonder if Easterby came in with Bill O'Brien, because Bill O'Brien is the one that traded Hopkins. Was it 2 years ago? And then Deshaun, once they traded Hopkins, Deshaun was like, "Oh, I'm out."
All of these names are terrible. Every one of these names. As soon as you start the conversation, it starts with, "Do you remember Bill O'Brien?" You're already in a world of hurt. You can only go down from there. Him and Jeff Fisher's got to be two of the worst coaches in NFL history.
Jeff Fisher?
Yes.
Why
Terrible.
is Jeff Fisher one of the worst coaches? This is a pure tangent. How is Jeff Fisher one of the worst coaches in NFL history?
For what he did with Vince Young. Clearly that Rams team was substantially better as soon as they got Sean McVay. Yeah, Jeff Fisher is terrible. Widely known. Do your Google searches.
Wasn't I ain't gotta do no Google search. Wasn't he the coach of the Titans when they went to the Super Bowl?
They did that in spite of him.
I will say, Jeff Fisher
He's terrible.
was a bad coach because he never evolved. He kept trying to play. He tried to make Vince Young something that he wasn't. And when you try to take somebody, and I say this about all coaches,
Good.
if you're a good coach, you should be able to tailor your offense to the player versus tailor the player to your offense. The only offense I know that you could tailor a player to the offense is the zone blocking scheme, the zone running game, where you can plug in literally anybody, including Orlandis Gary. I know y'all don't know that name, but he led the league in rushing when he ran for the Dolphins after Terrell Davis retired, and he played where at the University of Georgia?
Broncos, yeah. Not Dolphins.
I said Dolphins? Yeah. Played for the Broncos. So when Terrell Davis retired, Orlandis Gary led the league in rushing, has a rushing title. That is all Mike Shanahan. So most of the time, that is the only real place that I can see where you tailor the player to the offense, not the offense to the player. But moving on, man, I do want to say something real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Before we go on, I did want to say that best interception ratios for 2022 with more than 100 attempts. Josh Allen, 1 for every 60. Kyler Murray, 1 for every 63. Daniel Jones, 1 for 80. Geno Smith, 1 for 94. Justin Herbert, 1 for 100. Thomas, Patrick, Edward, Brady, 1 interception for every 247 attempts. Yeah.
Okay. What that mean? What point are you trying to prove by saying he doesn't throw interceptions?
He's their most valuable player. He's the best player on that team.
Okay, whatever. Moving on, man. Y'all have been shitting on Matt Ryan for a long time, including Falcons fans. I'm going to talk to my Falcons fans. Y'all have been shitting on Matt Ryan like Matt Ryan wasn't a good quarterback. And y'all have reveled in him struggling with the Colts, and now for 2 weeks in a row, he's thrown the game-winning touchdown. And I ain't heard a peep out of none of y'all. I'm talking to y'all like family. Keep that same energy. Y'all better put some respect on Matt Ryan's name, and y'all better show up when he retired and they put his name in the ring of
No, both
Hall of Fame and ring of honor. That's what I think of. Ring of honor for the Falcons. Y'all better show up.
Well, let's be very clear. There's been a guy
Kev on my
who's
side.
been a
Kev
Matt Ryan supporter for a very, very, very long time. He tells you all the time that he's probably the second best Atlanta Falcon of all time, the number 1 quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history, and that is my boy Matty Ice. He dropped that in a bucket. I think he had 392 passing yards. He went bonkers. Told y'all.
Bonkers. And also, I think this was against the Jaguars.
Yes.
The Jaguars have been putting up points quietly as kept. He went, not because of Trevor Lawrence. Matt Ryan threw the ball 58 times. Wow. Oh, because they're running back.
How many?
42.
Jonathan
42
Taylor's
58.
out. Trust
me,
my fantasy team knows.
So he has 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. 107 passer rating. Michael Pittman Jr. is obviously his best target. 13 catches, 134 yards. And then Paris Campbell as well. They've got a lot of players. So shout out to Matt Ryan. We just wanted to bring that. Also, before we move on, Matt Ryan is now what? Seventh all time. This is a bad graphic putting white on white, but 7th all time in passing yards, 61,363 yards. I'm pretty sure that the 5 ahead of him are all in the Hall of Fame. And I'm pretty sure the person that he passed is now in the Hall of Fame. So Matt Ryan will be in the Hall of Fame, and if you don't think he's in there, you are a hater. Period.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and he's going because the guys who will be next up to try to break that, it's going to be a while before they retire and before they get there.
I don't know. It'll be a while before they get there, just because of the way the game is played now. You gotta remember, Matt Ryan in his first few years, we were a power running team. Where now you have players like Justin Herbert, who was strictly shotgun. Um, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I think those three will all catch him just because of the way the game is played.
Oh yeah. And I mean, probably gonna get a guy like Kyler too.
I hope not. I don't think he deserves it yet.
He's gonna throw the ball so much. They're gonna throw the ball with him a lot.
Yep. And then of course Mike Vrabel had something to say about the NFL and the officials. Tennessee Titans coach Mike Vrabel emailed back to the NFL's officiating department along with every head coach and general manager
Reply
in the
all.
league. I appreciate the time and energy that goes into these videos, but I suggest we devote every minute of our officiating department's time ensuring our officiating crews are as well trained in the clarifications we worked to create in the off season. Basically saying, y'all not doing y'all job. Y'all need more training, and y'all need to understand. And this was all in response to the roughing the passer penalties 2 weeks ago. They didn't even play this week, and he was still big mad. So Mike Vrabel does not. But losing.
He's a former NFL player, so
yeah, of the Patriots, he don't even know about losing. So
that too.
Losing.
Well, now he does.
Yeah, losing ain't in his vocabulary as a player. So, and then of course there was the game of the week, the Chiefs.
Also, sidebar.
Okay.
Do not post this photo of me. I'll call Bleacher Report. Like, y'all take that shit down to me looking silly like that.
They gonna laugh at you. Like, okay.
Hey, no, take that down, fam.
The game of the week, Tony Romo. Let's listen to what Tony had to say.
It's going to be a high-scoring game, Jim.
Oh.
Because these two defenses are going to make you drive the field. The clock's going to run a lot because they're going to be consistently checking it down, running the football. Every once in a while you get a big play. But this is going to be a 24-20 type of game, maybe 30 if somebody goes off.
3. Here comes Allen. Looking long. Throws to the end zone. And the ball is caught.
Unbelievable.
First off, that was an amazing throw. That was an amazing throw by Josh Allen. Second off, the fact that Tony Romo called this to the score, to the point, to the number, gives me casino vibes, right? You remember when not Danny DeVito, Al Pacino came in, and he was the one that was always getting, or was that Goodfellas? He was always getting the scores right. That's what Tony Romo has now done this for 3 years. Like,
that's what got him the job. That's what got him. He was calling plays. He's like, oh yeah, he's gonna do this right now. That's what got him $100 million. And ironically, it was the Chiefs and the Patriots game that he was calling when there was like, Gronkowski at the top of the field. You know what they're gonna do. And I was like, well, if he know, how the defense don't know. But this was probably one of the best games of the year. Go ahead. What were you about to say? I mean, thinking about it, he clearly knows the game, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an owner, are you thinking, can I get Tony Romo as my coach?
I don't think Tony Romo wants to be a coach. I don't think you could pay him enough money for him to be the coach. He makes $100 million. He has $100 million contract as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Why would you leave?
I guess you're right.
And he's the main broadcaster, so that means I only got to
$100 million to make it worth it.
And I only got to broadcast once a week. I'm the main broadcaster for CBS. I don't got to go nowhere. I don't got to do. Hey, everybody, Joe. It ain't ESPN. You ain't gonna send me to Buffalo on a Thursday and then have me fly to California on a Sunday. Like, you ain't got. Kirk Herbstreit makes all his money. He be everywhere. Tony Romo goes to one game.
You're right.
But moving on with this game, man. This game was so good. Josh Allen's last 3 games. He has thrown for almost 1,000 yards.
Against the Chiefs.
Against the Chiefs. 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns against the Chiefs. And he's 2-1, but he lost the game that mattered. But yeah, who does it suck for?
Mahomes. I have to go against this every time. I know this is what I'm gonna get.
And they gonna
assume he's gonna get 321 yards and 3.5 touchdowns. So I know I got to give you 350 and 4 touchdowns.
And here's the thing. Mahomes gave you
Jesus.
340 and 2 touchdowns. He just gave you 2 interceptions.
Jeez.
This is going to be the rivalry
thing.
of the this is the rivalry. This is the new Peyton and Brady. This is I don't think Aaron Rodgers really had anybody as a rival in the NFC, but this is definitely going to be the new Peyton and Brady. And Josh Allen right now is looking like the league MVP.
Kirk Cousins.
Hey man, they 5-1. Other
Big
news
bag.
in the AFC North. I mean the AFC East. Who saw this coming? The Jets beat the Packers
did.
27. I did not see the Jets being 4-2.
Oh, that part, no.
No. We saw the Jets beating the Packers. The Packers don't have any receivers. Allen Lazard is not a number one, and all those receivers are not a whatever. So, the Jets beat the Packers. Not only did they beat the Packers, they beat them handily. Sauce Gardner, I am gonna say this now, and I know it's gonna be a bad take. It could be a take, whatever, but he is giving primetime vibes.
Defensive player of the year?
No.
I mean, rookie of the year.
No. Well,
Defensive rookie of the
possibly.
year.
He's giving primetime vibes right now. The way his entire demeanor gives primetime. This is something Deion would do. Deion would go put on the cheese head after beating you. Deion would have a chain that says sauce, a hot bottle chain, a hot sauce bottle as a pendant that says sauce. Deion would have all the jewelry. Deion would shut down a side of the field as a rookie. Deion would pick all. He really should have about 3 more picks. He's dropped like 2 picks. Now Deion wouldn't drop no picks. That's the only thing Deion didn't do. He ain't dropped no picks now. But Sauce now
okay.
is the go ahead.
I was gonna say he probably wouldn't be with the antics, but he would have the hot sauce bottle. 100%. Big chain.
You don't think Deion would be with the antics? You crazy.
Deion
would shake your hand at the line of scrimmage. Deion would do stuff like Deion had all the antics. Deion high stepped 90 yards against the Falcons. He high stepped 80 yards against the Falcons. Deion would high step. He would dance in the end zone. Those are antics. This is a different type of antics.
I see those differently. One is on the field in battle. Deion was the only guy he really got like that was the guy who he hit with the champagne that time. Outside of that, off the field, he would talk, but with no real antics. I put this more in the T.O. Chad Johnson category to me.
Well, I said Deion because he's a DB. And the fact that he's flashy and he's supremely confident and he's going to let you know about it. And he, even though he went to the wrong locker room, that was funny, shows that if he can continue to ascend, because I've never seen a rookie cornerback just shut down half the field. That's something that I have not even Deion did that. They challenged Deion his rookie year. They not even throwing to Sauce Gardner. Like, they're not throwing to him at all.
That job is too tough. That job is, I tell you all the time, I think that is if there's a position to play where there is little to no help ever, it is cornerback. And you're playing against the fastest guys in the world, and you have to run backwards. Hell no.
He's 6'3". He's 200 pounds. He has long arms. He has the acceleration of a 5'10" person, and he has great ball skills when the football is in the air. Like,
he looks like a receiver,
but he's a DB. Now and he don't tackle like Deion. So, like, he does. Sauce Gardner, I'm very, very impressed, and I have been watching to lead up to this because I knew this was going to be I see Kev said, huh? But I knew this was going to be a controversial statement. Go back and look at the tape of Sauce Gardner over these first 6 games. He is impressive, man. He reads everything. He recognizes plays. He might be.
He's good.
He's really good. Now, probably might make me look like a fool next game, and they're going to throw for 400 yards or whatever.
I'm not jumping out there with you on the Deion because that level of sustainability as being the number 1 corner in the NFL, you've never seen. Nobody does that anymore. You get your 1 or 2 good years, and then after that, you're good enough. But
the last person to do that was Darrelle Revis. Maybe Stephon Gilmore. But you only got like 3 years.
How long were they the best?
Oh, Darrelle Revis was the best for like 4 years now. Revis Island was a thing.
Yeah, Deion was the best for way long. Well, I'm not gonna say way longer than that, but
I mean,
all right, 6 or 7 years.
He was probably 6 years. He had 4 in Atlanta. He had 2 in
Dallas, San Francisco. That'll get you there real quick.
That's 6-7 years.
Yeah, well, you'll never see a guy who would be the number 1 corner in the NFL for 7 years again. Hell no.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if you start at your rookie year and you looking like this, you on your way. But
now they're investing so much time into beating you. Look how quickly Jalen Ramsey went from the best corner to might be able to get beat now.
I mean, corners get beat. That's gonna happen. I mean, Jalen Ramsey still might be the best cornerback in the league. It's either between him and Stephon Gilmore. And Gilmore ain't playing that great. He ain't playing bad. But, I mean, there's not many other corners that, when you think of best corner in the league right now, it's those 2.
Yes, he's still.
But moving on, we got a long way to go in football. So, the NFC North, we were going to spend some time here, but everybody sucks. So, one thing I did, this is Tennessee. That's the wrong link. The NFC North is bad. The NFC North, the Vikings are the only good team. Justin Fields play. Personally, I am tired of being there. He's talking about they're always being told that they're almost there. The whole NFC North is bad. The Packers suck. The Bears suck. The Vikings are 5-1. I don't even know. And the Lions, they still bite kneecaps trying to claw their way up. It's a rough division. I didn't think the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football.
How do you tell the rest of your team that you believe in anything when your prize draft pick looks broken? Him and Kyler look bad, but demeanor-wise.
Kyler, I blame on Kyler. I don't blame him. Justin Fields looking bad.
I agree. I agree. I 100% agree. Kyler's responsibility falls on Kyler. Justin Fields' responsibility falls on leadership not putting a team around him. But they both look the same.
He did miss the game-winning touchdown pass. I mean, Buddy, the one before Buddy dropped the ball in the end at the goal line. The play before, there was a wide receiver. It was a tight end in the back left part of the end zone doing this, and he didn't see him. That has always been the knock on Justin Fields, that he doesn't know how to read his progressions. And it didn't help that he left. And it's not, I'm not saying he shouldn't have left UGA, right? I'm not saying he shouldn't have. But when you go to Ohio State does not breed NFL quarterbacks. You can say what you want. Every Ohio State quarterback that comes to the league struggles. Every single one. They all struggle with reading defenses because their offense is the ball is already predetermined in that offense. Same thing. Dwayne Haskins, you can name them. Dwayne Haskins struggled. Terrell Pryor struggled. Who else? Name anyone. Name any Ohio State quarterback.
What about y'all quarterbacks, though? Not trying to be funny or shoot here, but I don't know if you guys are the best at building quarterbacks either.
No. But I think he would have flourished more in a pro-style offense is really what I was talking about. He had the talent to flourish in a pro-style offense and then go to a pro team and would have been better. He would have been more prepared. Him going to Ohio State offense, I'm not talking about talent-wise. I'm talking about offense and development-wise when it comes to a player with talent. We always play the quarterback that don't got no talent. Jake Fromm, Stetson Bennett. We play players over the best quarterbacks. Justin Fields has legit talent. Justin Fields, when he runs the ball, is really dynamic. But when you go to Ohio State, when you go to a place like, I'm not being shady, if you go to a place like Florida with Steve Spurrier, everything is done. It's kind of like Sean McVay with Jared Goff. Everything is done for you. You don't have to think when you get the ball. Everybody's wide open because the offense is so dynamic. You don't have to do any reads. You don't have to throw the ball in tight windows. You don't really do that at Ohio State. When last time you seen an Ohio State quarterback throw the ball in a tight window? They be wide open. Because that's what I'm saying.
But we don't really know how good or how bad he is because this team around him is so terrible.
Yes. That is true. They have failed him. They have failed him 100%.
I don't know what quarterback plays good on the Bears right now. You got any ideas?
No. Not at all.
It is nobody who even Josh Allen. It's not gonna be fun.
You've traded away. They traded away everybody. If I'm the Bears, you got to blow the team up.
It's always in
but they
perpetual
can't.
eruption
They can't.
over there.
They can't though. They can't pause.
What is there really to blow up?
Well, even if they tried to blow up the team, you can't get rid of Justin Fields. You traded up. You traded 4 picks for Trey Lance. You traded 3 picks in a first-round pick for Justin Fields. Even if you blow the team up, because you could probably get a first-round pick for Justin. I don't know. You've kind of sabotaged that. There's nowhere else to go. You can't get rid of and you got to pay him.
There's nowhere else to go but down.
You know, and you got to pay him in the next 2 years. You got to pay him. And if I'm Justin Fields, you going to pay me. I done got beat up for the last 3 years for no reason. You going to have to pay me. So they're in a bad situation. Let's move on real quick to the NFC South. Everybody lost except for the Falcons. And within hours, Robbie Anderson went from the Panthers getting kicked off the field while he was cussing out the interim coach and wide receivers coach to the Arizona Cardinals. Literally within 24 hours. And look, he got right in his face. He said, I want to go back in. And the receivers coach was like, nah, go sit down. And he was mad and he didn't want to listen.
So for me, I don't know if we framed this correctly. This is good for him.
Yeah, he wanted to leave.
If it involves me getting the hell away from the Carolina Panthers, that was a W.
Was Arizona the place he wanted to go to?
Do you want to be in Carolina?
Do you want to go to Arizona? I know what you asked me. Do you want to go to Arizona? You literally say you don't like Kyler Murray every episode. And you're going to Kyler Murray.
I like Kyler more than I like
and Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes, I do. I like that more than I like this situation.
Man,
there are other places I might have been interested in going, but getting out of here tomorrow was worth it to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got out of there. That's true. You got out of there. Now you're going to have to go there. You also got a little label on you now. I mean, people don't forget that you got kicked off the field.
Yeah, I got a little label too here. It's called losing. We're going to wear these scarlet letters together then, huh?
Yep, so Carolina lost. The Taints lost. You ain't going to show no highlights of that. Again, here's Tom Brady being upset.
You are obsessive. You have a problem.
No, this was on the list. This is how you made the list. Tom Brady lost. Kyler Murray, you just said Kyler Murray. He's another one. My rookie year, it was the last time that this shit felt this difficult in terms of the offense, voicing his frustration against the Seahawks. Interesting he said that, especially with the whole thing about him not studying the playbook and all of that stuff. But, I mean, Arizona looks bad too. Now, don't they get DeAndre Hopkins back soon? And they just got Robbie Anderson, but they lost Marquise Brown.
Yes, just reactivated Hopkins, which should help a lot. But if I'm Cliff Kingsbury, that's not the vote of confidence I'm looking for either. Now, considering we were a package deal, we were the batch made in heaven, and then we get here and we're talking about, Kyler, for a lack of a better term, saying that he basically has regressed back to feeling like a rookie. That's not what I feel after I just paid you a ton of money. That is the last thing I want to hear.
Yeah, and then the Rams are moving on from Cam Akers, who actually they sat him down for the game and said he's sitting out for personal reason. They're expecting to field trade costs for him. Mind you, he's coming off an Achilles injury. So I don't know how this works out for Cam Akers. I don't know where he goes. Who needs a running
They
back?
say he's probably played his last game.
For real?
Yeah. Played his last game with the Rams.
Oh yeah, with the Rams, he's already out of there. They're gonna get him out of there.
So this is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams. Nope. I was gonna take a shameless shot at Georgia, but y'all are still good. But just the Matt. This might be Matt Stafford. He might be poor man's Eli. He might only be good one every few years, one every 3 or 4 years. Where Eli was good every
what
other
shot
year.
were you gonna take at Georgia that we're only good every 1 or 3, 4 years?
That it was an aberration. It was fake. I like the Rams looked like they went from a Super Bowl team to who the hell are these guys?
Well, if that's the shot you taking, it really should be Florida going to the SEC championship.
That's the hey, bro. I got on out of there. I found the exit. Jesus.
Oh yeah, you ain't even had to bring that up, dog. You see the hat? But Cam Akers, the Rams don't look good, man. Again, I know I'm a homer, and I know I'm a Falcons fan, but we were a bad play away from beating the Rams too, and the Rams got some soul searching to do on offense. It can't be just Cooper Kupp. Like you know what they need to do? They need to go pay OBJ. Y'all gotta go. You gotta go pay OBJ.
No, are you crazy? I'm gonna tell you right now. Aaron Rodgers gonna get OBJ. Come hell or come high water. It ain't not a price. Whatever. I don't care if you have to cut the rest of this team. You better find the money to get Odell. I tell you that much. Because the rest of these guys are terrible.
I don't know, man. OBJ's trying to win. If he goes to Green Bay, I don't know if they win. He comes back in November.
He can get him paid. If you're OBJ, Aaron Rodgers make you look. If you believe that you're that guy again, he's gonna make you look like a world beater. That long term may be better for
you. This how Giants fans feeling right now.
See my emotions going crazy. We did it, man. We in MetLife, man. I love it. I'm happy to be here, man. Go Big Blue, baby. Man, y'all can.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a weird dude. But the emotions are crazy. He's a rookie feeling like this. Go Big Blue.
Not the Tibbs that in New York that I expect to be crying. But
shout out to the Giants, man. They 5-1. They right behind it.
It's fake. We know it's fake, bro. We know it's fake.
So
I hate. Let's go ahead. We're gonna get closer and closer to this.
Why is it fake?
That team is fake.
Why is it fake?
It's not real. First of all, because Daniel Jones is running your team. That's the reason you're not a 5-1 team. As long as you have him, there's no way you can be good.
I mean, they are a 5-1 team, but Brian Daboll is not putting the game in Daniel Jones' hands. And if you want to talk about it, they have a good offensive line, anchored by Andrew Thomas. Go Dogs. And their defensive line with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, those two guys, the way that you beat these pocket quarterbacks and you force quarterbacks, even if they're pocket quarterbacks or rushing quarterbacks, the way that you get them uncomfortable is to get pressure up the middle. If you get pressure up the middle and you can do that with your two defensive tackles in Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, that's really how the defense is playing really well. And they got good safety play.
Who made this schedule?
The NFL. They're in the NFC East division. They got to play the Cow. Now they do got to play the Cowboys.
This is the best schedule I think I've ever seen in the history of NFL. Tennessee, who we believe is over the hill. Carolina, in pure disarray. Cowboys, you know I don't believe in those guys. Fool's gold. Bears, god-awful terrible. Green Bay, they just lost to the Jets. Baltimore is the first legitimate team that I think.
That's the schedule ain't their fault. You picked.
I
picked
agree with that.
Green Bay to win their division. The Ravens were picked to come in second. You can't blame them for that.
No. I'm giving credit to the Ravens. I still consider the Ravens a legitimate team. Green Bay is not who I thought they were, and I should have saw that. I will be very clear of when I missed it. But then they play Jacksonville next, which should be a layup. Seattle, you're competing with Geno Smith.
Jacksonville is not a layup, but they should win. But Jacksonville's not a layup.
Texans, Lions, Cowboys, Commandos. You play a real team in the Eagles. You get the Commandos again. You get Minnesota, which I think is, I guess, all right.
They're 5-1. And they're leading the division by 2 games.
Yeah, I know exactly.
You can doubt everybody all you want to. You have to put some respect on these division leaders, dude. And their schedule comes out because they finished.
They're gonna fade.
They finished. I think the Giants finished last in their division last year, so they're playing all the teams that finished last in their division. That's how that normally works. So I mean, you can only play the people that are in front of you. And right now, the Giants.
And I see towards the end of their season, crater.
I don't. I think they'll both beat. I think they beat the Commanders. I think they probably lose both to the Eagles. I think the game against the Cowboys is a toss-up. I think they beat the Texans and the Lions, so that's 4. And I think they could beat the Colts. I think they go 5-4. 5-4 ain't bad when you start out 5-1. That's 10-5. With these other 2 layups you just said is 12-5. 12-5 gets you a wild card.
I feel a losing spirit on this team here.
I feel like you a hater.
No, I just know how this gonna go.
It's
gonna
go. The sad thing about the Washington Commanders is that they are making all the news for non-football things, except for Brian. We talked about Brian Robinson last year. Thursday, he got his first NFL TD against the Chicago Bears. So shout out to Brian Williams as well. Brian Robinson. I keep saying Williams. Brian Robinson. But Dan Snyder, man. Dan Snyder says the Commanders, says the NFL is a mafia and they can't mess with me. Now, we know that the NFL is a mafia.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to tell that lie. I was like, well,
the owners is definitely a mafia. It's a 30. There's definitely a round table with 32 seats, and the head of the mafia is Jerry Jones right now. But if you think they can't, for him to say that didn't he say he hired a private investigator?
Yeah.
You hired a private investigator to get dirt on everybody, which kind of pissed off Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones, quite frankly, is probably the reason you still have this team. Like, and everybody hasn't voted you out. I don't think they can vote you out.
So this is my thing. This is first. He said this. Don't lie to us. And his lawyer came out later and said that this statement was completely false. Even if it was, we all believe it. So you might as well have said it. So with that said, he has put them in the or what situation where somebody tells you to do something and you have to say or what. Now they have to prove that they can get rid of him or he owns them.
Yeah, you got to fight. Yo, stop. You need to chill out. It's going to be some problems. Man, or what? Now I got to hit you.
Exactly. There is no way you can tell ownership, you can tell the NFL, you can tell the Shield, they can't fuck with me. Now we have to. Or everybody believes you're untouchable.
A lot of folks, Kev's right. A lot of folks believe he would say it, man. So we don't even have any news on the Commanders. They beat the Bears, and we talked about the Bears. Carson Wentz is out for 6 to 8 weeks, which I don't think anybody
4 to 6 weeks.
Don't matter.
Sprained finger.
They better make it 6 to 8, because Tyler Heineke watch them go win a couple games with Heineke, the beer man. Watch. And then of course,
it's not what's your boy? I feel like they should bring him back.
Who?
Fitzpatrick. I feel like call
Fitzpatrick is making more money as an Amazon analyst than would be getting beat up.
Right, better at that job. He's better. He's probably more consistent at that job too.
Whatever, man. The Eagles are up. They're 6-0. Eagles fly. The Eagles quietly as kept can run. Their schedule ain't the greatest either. They play Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, Indianapolis, Green Bay, Tennessee, the Giants, the Bears, the Cowboys, the Saints, and the Giants. The Eagles quietly is kept with the team that they have, and I told you they're one of the most well-rounded teams, especially now that Devontae Smith. It matters, especially with Devontae Smith stepping up. They built up that defense. They drafted Jordan Davis and what's the other one? Cox, C-O-X. Yeah,
they are so crazy. Trash.
Well, I mean, they're playing the NFC North. You can't get mad at them for playing the NFC North.
But North Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett out with it's a bye week.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Okay, but I mean, worst comes to worst, it's still Kenny Pickett. Then you have Houston. They'll probably still be winless. Commanders, god-awful football team. I mean, the coach should be good, and hopefully Jonathan Taylor is healthy by then, but the Colts are very beatable. Green Bay, they might be in full meltdown by then. Tennessee, they over the hill. I guess maybe the Giants. Chicago, nope. Dallas, nope. Saints, nope. Giants.
Oh, you crazy. That Dallas game, they're going to be at Dallas, and they'll have Dak Prescott back? You crazy. That game is going to be crazy.
No. I'm saying that's going to be a legit, but not the Bears, not the Saints, and you'll probably split it with the Giants.
You could split it with the Giants. I, as you said, don't believe in Daniel Jones. So if you don't believe in Daniel Jones, everything else on that game is favored to the Eagles. Literally everything, when you compare every position to that game, in that game is all favors the Eagles, except for maybe running back.
They should win 9 games before they have another competition.
Yeah.
They already in the damn. They already there. God.
And if they beat the Cowboys again, because the Cowboys are quietly as kept, they're in 3rd place, and I said that they have a chance of not making the playoffs. I didn't see it like this, but I said they have a chance of not making the playoffs. So the Eagles are 6-0, man. They look good.
And I still do not believe in these guys. I just don't.
You don't believe in a lot of people that you don't like.
I don't.
But
I don't. It's not about liking. I just don't. I don't see it. But this guy is excellent.
Eagles fans, they are so excited. My man ran out the tunnel with the team, and I don't even know how he got down there. How did he even get down there? And he got down there and ran out the tunnel.
I love it.
It's funny, the football players just like, oh, well. They got him out of there, too. And Philly is one of the only stadiums that has a jail at the stadium. I don't know if the new one does. I know the old one did.
And, somebody looked right at that dude. Isn't that David? That's damn David. Locked up.
Goddamn.
Yeah,
David.
Probably won't be at work on Monday.
Probably. Hey, boss, I'm going to go ahead and take Monday off. Man.
Wasn't feeling good. Dog, we saw you on television. Yeah, it wasn't me. I was sick. We saw you with multiple angles.